Ejura Dumasi municipality is our location for Joy in My Community this week. The Ejura Government Hospital records more than 10 motor traffic related incidents in a week. So we are here to speak to some victims. We will speak to the medical superintendent of the Ejura Government Hospital to gauge what is happening and also aim at finding a solution. So stay tuned in. This is Joy in My Community. I am Sarah Mablade Souza.
Accidents have been occurring in different forms here, and we have the major issue that is hampering here, which causes the accidents. One of the reasons is that in Ejura here, when you look at the nature of our streets, it's very narrow, and then we need traffic lights, which will help curtail the accidents, because the motorists, they don't know the rules and regulations on how they ride the motors. For example, if a car is coming on a speed, you see a motorist or someone on the motor wanted to cross without taking any notice. He wanted to cross. By so doing, accidents occur.
Have you ever had an accident?
Yeah, I have ever had an accident. But
Did it happen?
Yeah, my own happened. I was on speed, so I just come across a pothole. So when I hit the pothole, all my tires deflated, but I didn't fall on the ground. I didn't fall, but my motor got spoiled. That is how I got my accident. If I didn't took care, I would have died by then. So I have regretted on the speed I was going with. So I have regretted. My advice to others is that when they are on motor, they should take caution, and they shouldn't be going on speed, particularly when they are in town. They shouldn't be going on speed. They should take the limit of 50, so that they'll be going slow. When they are out of town, they can go on speed. They can go on speed they want.
Motor accident has been a daily occurrence in Ejura due to lack of punishment. Many are inexperienced riders. They don't have any license to ride in the town, and they neither learn how to ride. After an accident, nobody is punishing them. He will just go walk to the police station and take his motor away, no punishment. So nobody is learning how to ride here. So it has been our problem, because we can't no separation between good riders and bad riders, and we have been trying to get rid of it, but no matter how we try, it is not just jailing, because no punishment. I have been involved in an accident before. One guy was coming from the filling station just behind us here. He's coming from the filling station. Instead of checking whether he is joining the road, so he is supposed to be patient and check whether the road is clear or not. But just because he's not an experienced rider, he just joined the road and we crashed. Yeah, I got some minor injuries on my hands here and my knees, and after that we went to the hospital. That's all. Nobody reported it.
What do you think needs to be done?
Yeah, we need to enforce the law. We need to enforce the law. If the law is working, I think everybody will do the right thing. But since the law is not working and nobody is being punished for accident. So it's like nobody is trying to do the right thing. As you can see, you have been in Ejura here. Yeah, you have seen how things are unfolding. Nobody is trying to do the right thing. Instead of him waiting for somebody to pass, just because he knows that maybe his motor is durable than yours, he knows that even after the accident, nobody will punish him. So he will just cross you and you crash. Yeah, the speeding and rough riding. Others too are lifting the front of the motor. Doing acrobatics on a busy road. You see, that one too is not helpful, and nobody is there to prevent them from doing that. He will leave the front of the motor and be riding with one type of the motor in the town in a very busy street. You see, and nobody is there. Even if you confront him to prevent him, then it will result to a fight between you and him.
Actually, the motor accident has become a very pandemic in our area here. A lot of people it has created a lot of trouble to certain households. So we are just appealing to the government to at least to come into our aid. Looking at the streets, they should bring us a lot of speed ramps. That one can help to ameliorate the problem. Yeah. So I wouldn't talk much. And then taking a look at the youthful exuberance nowadays, they are just using the motorbike, doing what we locally know as adaga. They've been lifting the front of the motor. Before you realize, it causes a lot of problem. And sometimes somebody will even lift it, and it will go and crash with somebody who doesn't know how the thing started. So they should come in, like I said initially. The security agency should be up and doing. And I don't know. Sometimes you go and report, they will not take any action. Instead of them to stand at a vantage point to be observing this kind of happiness. And if they arrest 2 or 3 people, it will serve as a deterrent to other people, not to. Other than that, it is causing a lot of problem here.
So we are in the community of Alamali in the Ejura Seche, Dumasi municipality of the Ashanti region, to engage a family that has really suffered from the increasing rates of motor traffic accidents in this area.
Now, Yoma Anuana. Ndachanga pogun nkunna ka motoki awem suelin ka nawra ko ya ko ni sayi to kam no ko men walam hale hospital hale jige operation no ranu still karpa base to mart man nan wal sare pa wana won
kem pogun da ko rayiya ne wa pogun fla ben lor po be fla ben
moto na ba moto in chan pogun na ken tum ka kunna chana in accident sur moto ki ara wen sur 2018 nani so wa marome kam chana degen hospital ibe ka moru kullin ka wallo no bra hal kar pa base warsa ta kar pa base ka ba moru kul bok hospital de ne kar anu yu baba ay baba bi ela so ligbe so man kenna la man kenna fasga moto so be mtun to man fas moto la kenga man pele mi de ni si so din yisang kanda o 6:30 moru alaka de sila hale man tikana yu bang man bezin si ela ka awu be ni yo nintang chefayi kama yo nyene man dezin si ka mun ko sam pa banga ni na ka man bus brother namba bem sanna ka way mbe na hospital so de isim ka motela ngwe ma mpatom bange ama ban pal brother sa kengo sa na ka pal shimba ira ne bombok chi be surin na ka man kenna la ka moto ki ala ba me ya kenna se ba gongol ka wana so man me kenna la ko me kenna yo gongol ka on pugut ka man kenna so yo gongol ka la cheka te kwa te to ta ba ka na on le kwa man surin an futuro sur so man le po bang ding isim so din ngere la man like so o basem me kwa ka chen different moto ki ya kenna no man mo kenna yis man phone na ninka man le ku man kar no kum ko isim chepa no ko pa so phone no ku bol te kar se kan limra da yene hali rizuk ka o yanzo kenan mitim in ke hospital lana kenan yem kwala ka ba yam mo ti bo mala ka be ni tu sanga kama yon lak man yene man de hospital man de gin kan po bang ka mbus ka be ran hospital so ba yisim para zam ka ba yisim ne ba kan lo so na wura kwala ko ne kwala ntu so har ne zina kuta namba kwala nan pa legir ken yise from 2018 so
for motor la ka light be
there are more light
ka bugum na samme
bugum da be pa ta ama man po bangi din isim che so kwala la ba malam operation na rakon 4 ana se kwala da bizi ne kwala mana rakon so kudna manam be kwala kam nam po yise so then so I'm not taking a book hospital te te men walu
mo fa ko nga yilen le bok yas
ban yisim kwala mor kulin ka ballo nobra o marsa ta da bizi ne ko ya mor mu kul bok hospital la kan chen daga ne na te ka ba walu mala hare ko nobra pa yang zi ne
manda bar moto ndol kuma se sura fa kondo secondary school ani la nzulu
foresani
wi police bari ala benna la fa kon tog den bi la kef ani la ani kamanda mpai ka mampong taxi mechenna to taxi la da chin speed pa ala na kef o za chin speed so mampong nyeu la ma nyeu tu na no la ma no lepe ka lepe de ben la o pa nwe mam so pothole la be kef ani la so on yis ma mengara ponze man fa to police bari ala fo yen ba medo si surin na fo nambo pa dola ka o chenna on we kefa o bas on surane ka pa nok man sura pa we mam gon ora ko we mam kama man muto la osa nyak chinli nyang asa manda wana afram so baba ka on meyi mampon nchenna so ora we manna kama nyak man muto la osa nyak ga leb on yanga chinli
Relaxing speed ko
mambe lora onda ben speed lora da ben speed so manli tosi chen ndegen nda ko chen ndegen na bon pilasa no baba wana no palla no ren man lagnif mayene mdum kan wa kar bwaka wana ka krosa wana ka kobala usa yina be palo kaze meet.
He was traveling from Ejura to Aframso. So he got to the forest after the secondary school when a taxi was coming from Mampong. So they had a head-on collision just after the police barrier. There is a cave there. That was where they had a head-on collision. According to him, the taxi was speeding, and so he could not have avoided him. And so they had a head-on collision, and he had a fracture on the left leg. And then he had started some. So he would have had some injuries, fracture at the waist. Go where she had a
so
so no kanga like a fair da kono ko yina la ko
waka wana ka kuta ebe kobala wo se yenga to tamda pa hospital kwarana naka bayanda te ka nobra tinye ka kobala lebe ne bayanda moro mo chen jamasi.
So I don't know da moro fucking hospital.
Okay, anala niri bergo da sura asema man kwan lila no ka nanana de puyuga ka niri jilgimanna mpumi bayisi
tam kanda ka fon lula kami fulune kana fon digla men ka fulune
man lila polike man lila no ka kwan lagnif ka potentiel call mon brother. So ka phone na bem je fanem kwan yisa phone na call brother yem ya accident to ndeka suran para
ka pa ma accident be
tengan ka on accident on say last 5 years mambo nane this year no 4th March.
Okay, so his own occurred on the 4th of March, and so when after the incident occurred, some people came to send him to the hospital. He actually wanted to called the brother and informed him that he has been involved in an accident. By then the brother was already in the house treating his own injuries. So they sent him to a Ejura government hospital for medical checkup, and that was when he was told, or his family was told, that he had a fracture on the left, both legs, one at the waist, and several other injuries that they needed to attend to him.
So tramaching jama sala ka bamal operation na to kaya kare de soin ka ba yisim kan kula so 2 weeks bia na teaching hospital ka ba check 2 weeks bia nena chanam potenda onda na bebre because that test say tenga po body mzin kwala say wala driver la men amanda man putel krada ele mi driver la o shene da body kum kan win ampo nsake because on the curve dodge pothole na wa da anye ne kar kago ka chenna o ko sak no ko wai ona na ndogon amada e ma ane motola umiyo ya nwema manene pi ombe na lorpo ongo pi kano ko nwema ka even kapa kura manda miri yine kwemo zeka kapa da no ka force onpe ni minna so theater la ni ka bayanda anye karais yeah.
Okay, see, he's also saying that he suspected the driver deliberately knocked him down because after he dodged the pothole, he says that the driver actually dodged a pothole and then crashed him. So he is suspecting that the taxi driver deliberately knocked him down, because if he were a long track, he would not have crashed. I mean, had a head-on collision with the truck, but because he was on a motorbike, that was why the driver deliberately knocked him down. That's what he's saying.
We usually receive about 10 to 15 cases per week of road traffic accidents in our hospital. It varies in severity and degrees. You would have people who come in who've had a collision, head-on collision from vehicles, people who have accidents from motorbikes, those who one way or the other have accidents from tractors being used on their farms, and others. The degree of injuries varying from head injuries to fractures to lacerations, whether deep or minor lacerations. Sometimes injuries of blunt injuries to the abdomen and to the chest, with varying degrees of hemothorax and hemoperitoneum. There are some of the injuries that can be managed confidently here, and some that per our mandate we are supposed to refer. But it is always important that we try and then stabilize the patient, resuscitate them, put them in a position where they are actually fit for them to be referred by ambulance to Komfanochi.
Speaking of motorbikes, on average, do the people keep their limbs?
They keep their limbs, but for one or two reasons, most of them have fractures of the long bones. We've had some few cases where the limbs were not something we could salvage, so we had to do amputation for them. But most of them would actually have fractures from these injuries, for which reason we would have to stabilize. We don't have an orthopedic unit here, so most of them are done conservatively, and then later a definitive treatment, either an ORIF or a definitive surgery for the bone is actually done at Jamasi, where we usually refer our orthopedic cases. Ejura is a community with a lot of tribal groups, and most of them are farmers. And the major means of transport here is the motorbikes and then also the Okada. So I would say 80% of these injuries are from the motorbikes and then the Okada that people use. Only a fraction of them, about 20%, is from the vehicles. And even with that, they are people spanning from Yiji going to Kumasi, and occasionally would have some road traffic accidents on the outskirts of Ejura, and they are brought in here. But most of the cases we have here are people here who ride these motorbikes on a daily basis, or use this Okada, and for one or two reasons also have a collision and are brought in here. It's always important for us to be able to educate our people. Road traffic rules and regulations are not really followed here. You'd have a lot of people riding their motorbikes, trying to overtake you and do other things. Sometimes the speed at which they are also riding is on a high. Thus, we would want to advocate that as we speak, I mean, the hospital, the health agency, the assembly speak to these people so that they actually tone down on the way they actually ride. The other thing is also on the nature of the road. So we also plead that the appropriate authorities actually help us to be able to fix our roads well, so that we won't have these incidents of. But there are times that people actually get these accidents because of the varied potholes on their area, and so we would want the authorities to be able to help us in that. Then again, I think the only thing that we would also plead for is for some resources to be given, so that even when these incidents happen, we are able to manage them well. For us, it's life first. So what happens is that most of these people, especially those that are travelers on our major road, who gets these accidents, are actually brought in without any form of insurance or money or items, or may not have their relatives remote here for them to come and help. But what we try to do is that because they are in that emergency state, we try as much as possible to stabilize them, resuscitate them, and even do the needful by even referring. And it comes at a great cost to the hospital. We've been doing this because we feel that it is also as part of our social responsibility to be able to help some of these people in their dying needs. Aside that, yes, I would admit that it comes at a great cost to the facility.